Action of water in limestone areas. Introduction. Limestone refers to a rock consisting of at least 80% calcium carbonates. When the insoluble limestone rock is exposed to water containing a weak carbonic acid, it is dissolved and removed in solution. The resultant landscape is called a karst scenery. This process of limestone rock decomposition is called carbonation. Surface water. This is water found on the top of the Earth's surface. It is water in rivers, seas, swamps, lakes, and oceans. This water originates from precipitation, melting glaciers, and springs. Underground water. It refers to water that exists below the surface of the Earth. Sources of underground water. There are 4 sources of groundwater, and these are rainwater, meltwater, which is available during summer, water bodies, and magmatic water or plutonic water. This is water that gets trapped in the rocks during volcanism. Factors influencing the occurrence of underground water. The existence of underground water depends on its rate of infiltration, which is determined by the following factors: precipitation, slope, nature of the rocks, vegetation cover, level of saturation of the ground, and evapotranspiration. Precipitation. Rainfall and snowfall are the main sources of precipitation. If the precipitation is high, there will be more percolation, hence more underground water. Slope. Infiltration is greater on flat areas since water is likely to remain in one place for a long time. On steep slopes, a lot of water is lost through surface runoff, leading to low infiltration. The rate of infiltration and percolation depends on the permeability of the rocks. Permeable rocks allow water to enter and pass through, while impermeable rocks do not allow water to pass through. Rocks that are rich in clay are porous, and so absorb water very quickly. The particles expand and closes air spaces such that no water passes through. Such rocks are known as aquiclude. The rock that is totally impenetrable is known as an aquifuge. Vegetation cover. The presence of vegetation increases the rate of infiltration and reducing the amount of surface runoff. Levels of saturation of the ground. This implies the maximum amount of water present beyond which a surface cannot absorb more. Evapotranspiration. A high rate of evapotranspiration that is caused by low moisture content in the atmosphere reduces the amount of water that is available in the soil. This in turn increases infiltration of water because there is space in the ground for water to occupy. The water table. Definition. A water table is the level of groundwater below which all available space is saturated with water. The water table fluctuates with seasons, resulting into different zones of saturation and temporary water table. Zones of saturation. There are 3 water zones below the surface. These are spring. A spring is natural outflow of water from the ground onto the Earth's surface. It occurs where the water table is exposed on the surface along a slope. Formation of springs. The following are ways in which springs form: where an aquifer or permeable rock overlies on impermeable rock. When well-jointed rocks are found on a hilly region, water enters the rocks through the joints. Springs occur where the water table reaches the surface. Such springs are also called variclusions. When a dike acts as a dam of permeable rock, it cuts across a layer of permeable rocks. This causes water table to rise and springs develop. When chalk or limestone escarpments overlie impermeable rocks, a spring develops at the foot of a limestone escarpment where the water table meets the surface. When gently sloping layers of permeable rock alternate with layers of impermeable rock, rain falls on exposed ends of permeable rocks and soaks down the sloping bedding planes to emerge as a spring. Borehole. Very often the term borehole is used to refer to a deep vertical hole made by drilling or boring. It reaches the zone of permanent saturation and provides water throughout the year. The main difference between a well and a borehole is that a well is dug manually. It is wide in diameter, while a borehole is drilled by a machine and is narrow in diameter. Artesian wells. This is a type of well which is drilled within an artesian basin. An artesian basin is a saucer-shaped depression consisting of a layer of permeable rock that is sandwiched between two layers of impermeable rocks. The whole system of rocks around the basin forms a broad syncline. One or both ends of the permeable layers of rocks are exposed on the surface. Conditions for formation of an artesian well. Problems associated with artesian wells. The water in some of the wells is hot. The water may be salty as it dissolves mineral salts during percolation. Artesian wells sometimes are overdrawn, hence necessitating pumping. Meaning of karst scenery. Karst scenery is a resultant landscape in limestone areas covered by limestone, dolomite, and chalk containing calcium carbonate, which is highly soluble. The areas are eroded by ground, rainwater, and rivers, forming features both on the surface and underground through the process of carbonation. Factors that influence the development of the karst scenery. There are several factors that influence the development of karst scenery. They include the presence of a thick layer of chalk, limestone, or dolomite rock, the presence of hard and well-jointed limestone rocks to make it permeable. This enables the acidic water to percolate, erode the joints particularly where the joints are close. Hot and humid or wet climate which facilitates erosion by solution method. The water table should be deep below the surface. If it is shallow, the rocks would dissolve and no features would form. Major characteristic features of a karst scenery. The action of carbonation and solution working along joints in the rock lead to the formation of several features. Limestone pavement. This is a bare rock surface of rock with numerous grooves. The surface is flat because of its turns at the base of a dissolved bending plane. The rocks are exposed because of the little soil available was carried away by wind or glacier erosion. Grikes and clefts. Grikes are deep grooves and gullies formed in a well-joined limestone rock as a result of carbonic acid dissolving the calcium carbonate in the rocks, especially in the joints. Dry valleys. These are valleys with no permanent streams. They are characterized by steep, almost vertical sides. The dry river valleys are caused by the lowering of the water table and also streams being cut off when they sink and disappear underground. Swallow holes or sinkhole. This is a deep hole with nearly vertical sides. It is also called sinkholes or pona, through which rainwater or even river water disappears into the ground. Water widens and deepens the joints, leading to the development of vertical holes, especially where the joints converge. Limestone gorge. This is a deep, steep-sided valley formed by a large river which originates far from the limestone area. Dolline. A dolline is also known as a dolina. It is rounded or oval in shape, shallow depression with gently sloping sides on the surface of a limestone area. Uvala. This is a large enclosed depression which is bigger than a dolline. This feature is formed by the coalescence of several dolines. Polge. This is the largest surface depression formed by solution in a limestone region. It is shallow and steep-sided depression with a flat floor which is due to the deposition of a residual red clay called terra rossa. Karst windows. These are small outlets from a cave to the surface. They form as a result of carbonation by the rainwater at the surface. As the underground features in limestone areas include limestone caverns, stalactites, limestone pillars, and underground rivers. Caves or limestone caverns. A variety of underground features are found in limestone areas. One of the features is the limestone caverns or caves. These are underground chambers or caverns formed in the limestone areas as a result of carbonation and solution process along the joints. First, tunnels form, followed by the enlargement of the chamber or caves. A larger cave is known as a cavern. These caverns are formed by erosion through solution together with mechanical underground streams flowing through them. The groundwater dissolves the rock, particularly along the joints and bedding plane. This enlarges the cavities. The underground streams flowing through them emerge. Stalactites. These are underground finger-like masses of calcite hanging vertically from the roof of a cave. They are formed through deposition of drops of water containing calcium bicarbonate which have seeped through crevices and joints. The calcite is deposited partly because of evaporation. It may also be deposited when carbon dioxide in the water is released. The drops of calcium bicarbonate therefore crystallizes to form hanging finger-like pillars from the roof of the cavern. Stalagmites. These are underground stumpy rock masses which grow from the floor of the caves upwards. Stalagmites are much thicker than stalactites. They form when water drops from the end of the stalactite to the floor where they crystallize and grow slowly but steadily towards the roof. Limestone pillar or column. This is the projection that joins the stalactite and the stalagmite. It is formed by stalagmite that increases in height until it reaches the cave's ceiling or stalactite. Underground rivers. These are underground streams and rivers that form when water sinks down into impermeable strata of rocks below the cave. After a long distance of flow, the underground river may resurface as springs.